So I think the final product, as far as the premiere, went extremely well. Like everything, we had 130 people show up. We raised over $500 to the Wounded Warrior Project, which was our original goal. But as far as the movie is concerned, I think
on screen, obviously, I was Rainsford, the lead actor throughout the movie, so it's the story of Rainsford traveling to this island and how it changes him just emotionally and mentally, I guess. Off the screen, I was the co-director, so I helped film some scenes and I helped with part of the script.
I played General Zaroff. He's basically everything contrary to Rainsford. He wants to hunt people, and he feels like that's his own vision. He feels like he's right, and I feel like what makes a good villain is somebody who completely believes in what they're doing, and he has full belief in that. I feel like that's what makes him a great character.
I played Whitney, who was best friends with Rainsford during the events of the movie, prior to the movie as well, and during the war scene in the beginning of the movie. Off screen, I did a lot of acting work, but other than that, I didn't do much of the technical stuff.
Well, I played I guess you could say, pretty limited role, speaking-wise.
Whoa, take it easy there, easy. My name is Singer Rainsford. I'm from New York. Hey, it's okay. I'm not trying to hurt you. I'm not your enemy.
From my perspective, it seemed as if there were a lot of different moving pieces, and what I mean by that is everyone had to play their own part in the film, whether it was writing things, whether it was directing, whether it was filming, and whether it was acting. I mainly focused more on the acting parts, as other people did the other parts, where I would have to help people learn their lines, I'd have to help people run their stuff, and I'd have to help people show the easiest way to portray their character on and off the screen.
How did it come together? Just barely, for sure.
This movie came together from a friend of mine who loved filming stuff, and for his senior project wanted to make a movie, and he just grabbed a bunch of friends who have always helped him in the past, and to create his vision.
I think it came together because we made a social studies project back the year prior in high school.
We made a short film about the Tet Offensive for our AP US class, and me and Will talked about it, and we really liked the idea of putting all of our energies into a much longer and much more ambitious project. It wasn't ever supposed to be full length. We never were like, okay, this is going to be an hour and a half, you know? Like, we were like, okay, this is probably going to be like 45 minutes tops, but it ended up being way longer than that.
We definitely added some extra narratives that there was just no opportunity for in the short story, because the original The Most Dangerous Game story is actually very short. It's only like 12 pages, 15 pages, something like that. So we definitely added a lot more. Rainsford's entire backstory is completely on us. Like, we made up all of that on our own to fit the movie. The fight scenes, we added a bit of that. Whitney was non-existent, really. Like, he was only briefly in the story, I think. Just things like that. All the characters are different.
Yeah, so we just expanded the characters. We just expanded their motivations, expanded their stories behind it, because at the end of the day, the short story is just a guy landing on a beach, just falling off, trying to get his pipe. It's an interesting story and concept, but like, there isn't enough behind it until you get to the island. Like, there isn't enough before. We added the World War One. Rainsford was a World War One sniper, and that's why he also loves to hunt, you know. And then we added Whitney. He's a completely different character. He's like way more invested in the story. Zaroff has like a backstory. Like, he didn't really have much of a backstory besides some exposition in the short story, and we completely added that. And we also added different elements with other survivors as well, because in the short story, it's just Rainsford and Zaroff. We never really see Zaroff with anybody else.
I would say we just casted our closer friends in the group. You know, we weren't too particular. Obviously, for Ivan, we needed a big dude, so Kadam was an obvious choice. We needed a female, and Amber was one of our closer female friends, so we picked her, and she fit the role perfectly. And then just everyone else kind of filled in. Like, we weren't looking for anything too specific, really, and it just kind of worked out.
Are you just going?
Yeah.
Okay.
Any last words?
That was so delayed! That's like something from The Office. The most, honestly, everything off screen was super memorable. Just having fun with a bunch of friends making a movie. But like, I guess the final scene, like the sword fighting, that was pretty memorable. Just going from nothing and ending up with that was kind of funny. Just the whole process.
Because they were just so unplanned. We didn't know what we were doing. We just kind of went with it until something looked good.
Action.
Why is it always about revenge?
Well, we had a plan, and it was going to work great because he was going to fall. Zaroff, was going to fall into the pool at the end of the scene, and that would have been the end of the movie and all. But then I accidentally fell into the pool early in the fight scene, so then we had to rework the entire fight around that, which I think it worked out pretty well, kind of.
Nothing matters in this world. Nothing but the hunt. Come on, hurry up. Let's go. Let's go.
No! Dude, I was looking at your face.
Who says where the winds go? To the wind. No. Oh, we have to do that again.
Oh, that's cool.
We all had to learn how to like throw fake punches at each other and fake kicks, and that's something I never gotten to do on stage before, and that is crazy. I was actually like super nervous I was actually gonna get hit, and Will is a lot stronger than me, and that would have hurt a lot. So kind of happy I didn't, but that was definitely by far the most memorable moment for me personally. For the kids at home, we don't know how to fight. For the kids at home, I don't know how to fight.
Like, I know how to fight, I don't know how to not fight.
Yeah, I get you.
I guess just make the same punches you would, just don't land them. You know what I mean?
I guess so.
And action.
On set, I think Reese re-breaking his collarbone. That was a long day of filming, and he messed around. He probably heard it earlier in the day, but then there was one scene where he fell, and he just ruined it. So he actually yelled out in pain because it was so bad. So I guess definitely the most memorable.
For the love of God!
Oh man, filming for sure. When someone was coming around the corner, we were waiting, we were all messing around, doing what we do best, you know.
Yo, you look like some 12-year-old fat kid who just ate chicken nuggets with ketchup.
The most fun was probably when we shot the World War I scene, because there's just so many people on costumes, so it was just really fun.
What did I wear? Man, what did you buy? German soldier uniforms. That's what I wore. I wore a hat, a bunch of different things, or regular shoes. You know, probably could have wore boots or something like that.
That was definitely the biggest part of the movie that we shot, for sure. We went to my friend Alex Moran. We used his house for that scene, and essentially it's basically Rainsford and Whitney are trying to assassinate this German general, and obviously we have to have costumes for that. So I bought a bunch of German style uniforms from this military surplus store online, and seeing that all to come together, I probably have 8 or 9 extras, I think, all together that were dressed up as Germans. And of course this happens in World War I, but I don't think any of the neighbors knew that. I mean, obviously both situations are bad, but all these neighbors are thinking, oh, why is there a bunch of Nazis surrounding the house, you know? We saw a couple of them watching us, probably with their phones very near, ready to call the cops if anything happened. And on top of that, they all had guns, so it's they're all airsoft guns, but at the same time, it's it was kind of ridiculous thinking that we pulled this off without getting cops called on us at any point.
What if they're calling the cops?
Sorry.
Probably are.
Dude, I got it all on video.
For what it is, the movie had a pretty low budget, but just looking at it from an actual movie perspective, the acting was not amazing. We tried our best, but we're obviously not actors, so there's a lot of bad acting in the movie.
Everything could always be better. There's always one step further you can take in any production you make, whether it's film or stage, but I guess just harder working on the actor's part as well, me included, but every actor could have definitely done a lot more in fulfilling their role, not just, okay, here I am, let's get this done and leave.
I guess improved upon is actual like organization of like the filming, because a lot of times we started with an idea and it just completely changed, which is obviously going to happen, but like it was on paper didn't always end up being what we actually wanted, so it changed a lot because everyone had their own opinion on how they wanted to be filmed, but obviously only one person just like the director, they should have had a little bit more control on what was actually happening, but
Management, I think there was a lack of focus, particularly when we were at a friend's house. We would get little to no work done.
I'm just gonna start recording now.
I'll give you a knock when you're moving to the recording.
Turn off the music!
I would say the leap in quality from the start of the movie to the end of the movie. Because we didn't film the whole thing in sequence. Like, there's a few scenes we did out of order, obviously, but just like people getting used to being in front of the camera and such, there was a very noticeable change from beginning to end.
Alright, bottoms up.
I feel like I'm gonna have some in my mouth already then.
What?
I'm gonna have some in my mouth already.
Alright, we gotta film this like now.
Congratulations. You won the game. Oh,
Scotty! So much for any other shots.
But as far as the movie is concerned, I think, looking back on it, I mean, obviously there's the audio. There's, some visuals we could definitely improve upon as far as visual effects and framing and all that stuff, technically. But as far as like a narrative and like script standpoint, I feel like the movie had a lot of dialogue, but it didn't have like visuals to complement that dialogue. It was too much of telling and not enough showing. So there was too much exposition and not enough the visuals surrounding that exposition, which I felt like didn't put a damper on it, but I felt like it could have been improved a lot by doing that.
I'd say it was the most fun and yet irritating thing I did senior year. Definitely just a lack of, maybe not commitment, but just how difficult it was to get everyone together at times. That was definitely an annoying thing. But also just being with everyone when we could get them together was just a great time.
Behind the scenes of day one.
We're just sitting here waiting for the dogs to calm down.
Yep.
Yes.
There's Ivan right there. All of his majesty.
Memorizing our lines.
There he is.
He's got a lot of lines.
There's the script guy. Say hi, Ryan.
Doesn't even have the script right now. He's doing it.
I've memorized the script for you.
Just fantastic.
He's the understudy.
Looking back, the proudest thing that I can say we accomplished is that we got it done. We finished it. The process made me realize that anyone can make a movie if the effort is there. Will it be great? In our case, and in most cases, no, probably not. But it can't hurt to try. And the experiences that we had made every moment worth it. Would I do it again? Absolutely. And I want to do it again. Possibly in the form of a sequel. But who knows what the future holds.